Good morning, children. Today I am going to start chapter number 13 of class 6, the Mauryan Dynasty. So, before going to start this video, please like, share, and subscribe my channel, and also press the bell icon. So, let's start. Before the establishment of Mauryan Empire, India was divided into many small kingdoms. The disunity among them was the main cause of frequent foreign invasions. What was the main cause of foreign invasions in India? That is the disunity. There is no any unity among them. So in 326 BCE, Alexander, the son of King Philip of Macedonia, invaded India and defeated King Porus, that is Poro. So he wanted to capture Magad also, but he was not successful. Before returning to Greece, he distributed his conquered territories in India among his governors. And finally, Alexander died in 323 BCE. So at that time, Magad was ruled by the Nanda ruler, that is Ghananand. Was the last Nanda ruler? Ghananand. He was an unpopular ruler. He was not so popular. So a Brahmin teacher, Chanakya, known as Kautilya also, who was insulted by Ghananand, vowed to destroy the empire of the Nandas. And that time the Kautilya decided to destroy the whole Nanda's ruler after his insulting. So he met Chandragupta Maurya. They collected a group of soldiers and captured Sindh and Punjab. Thereafter, they turned towards Magad and defeated Ghananand and established the Mauryan rule under the Chandragupta in 324 BCE. And finally, what will happen? With the help of Chandragupta Maurya, Kautilya, what they do? They finally defeated the Ghananand and captured their territories and established the Mauryan rule under the Chandragupta Empire in 324 BCE. Now, our knowledge about Chandragupta's early life is very limited. So, what were the sources through which we get the knowledge? The main sources of information is Indica by Megasthenes, who was an ambassador of the Greek ruler Seleucus Nicator in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Seleucus was the commander of Alexander, as I have told you earlier also. So Seleucus was the commander of Alexander. So when Alexander moved back, means returned to the Greece, what he do? He distributed his conquered territories in India among his governor. Now the other sources of information about this period are Purans, Buddhist and Jain literature, Kautilya's Arthashastra, Ashoka's edict, inscription on rocks and stone pillars, and remains of the monuments. These all are the sources through which we knows about this period. Do you know Megasthenes, the ambassador of Greek ruler Seleucus, described the court of Chandragupta? He said that the king gave darshan to the public on a special occasion on a golden palanquin. So his personal guards were Oman, and who was the personal guard of king that time? Were Oman, and the food was tested by whom? The servants before the king ate. राजा के खाने से पहले फूड किसे टेस्ट कराया जाता था? To the servants. Now come to the Mauryan Empire between 321 to 297 BCE. Chandragupta was the first Mauryan ruler to establish such a great empire. It extended from north to south and east to west, including Afghanistan and Balochistan, now in the Pakistan. This is a part of Pakistan. Chandragupta established his capital at Patliputra. Chanakya was Chandragupta's guru as well as his prime minister also. So Chanakya wrote Arthashastra, a famous book on political administration. Who wrote Arthashastra? Chanakya. Bindusar. After Chandragupta, who succeeded, Bindusar succeeded Chandragupta in 297 BCE and ruled up to 272 BCE. So he was a king, he was a brave king. He protected the empire and developed good relations with the Greek. But he died in 272 BCE. After that, who became the king? Asoka from 272 to 232 BCE. Asoka succeeded his father Bindusar in 272 BCE but was crowned in 269 BCE. So he is considered to be one of the greatest ruler in the world history. Who is considered to be one of the greatest ruler in the world history? The King Asoka. That's why we call Asoka the Great. He conquered the state of Kalinga. Now it is a part of modern Odisha to complete his rule over almost the whole India. He finally decided to conquer Odisha. Why he decided to conquer Odisha? Because all the parts of India he already captured. Only Odisha, that is Kalinga, is left. So finally he decided to conquer Kalinga also. Now the battle of Kalinga was a very fierce battle. There was huge loss of life and property. The horror of war and cries of the widows and children deeply moved Asokas. And here Asokas finally changed themselves. How? By the horror of wars and the cries of widows and children. This changed their mind. So he pledged never to resort to war. The Kalinga was proved to be a great turning point in Asoka's life. Which war is the great turning point in Asoka's life? You have to write Kalinga War. Now come to the map of Mauryan Empire. You can see here whole part, the yellow part you can see here, all part is conquered by the King Asokas. Here you can see Kalinga. Modern part, this is Odisha. That's why he called the great ruler. After the war, Asoka adopted Buddhism after the Kalinga War and spent the rest of his life in propagating and preaching it, not only in India, but in other countries also. So he advised his son and grandson not to conquer new countries, and they were advised to go in for Dharma Vijay, that is winning the heart of the people, not the territories. So Asoka got his teachings engraved on rocks and stone pillars in local language. Now here comes a question. In which local language he engraved his teachings on the rocks and pillars? The local languages are Kharoshti, Prakrit language, Greek and Aramaic language. These are the local languages. Now these teachings are known as his edicts. Asoka's Buddhism or Dham, a Prakritic word for the Sanskrit term dharm that means the moral value, is a little different from the classical Buddhism. Let's see how. The two main features of the Asoka's Dham related to social and ethical code of conduct are: first, everybody should serve parents, care and love all living creatures and animals, follow and adopt the path of truth, be kind to slaves, servants and workers, respect all the elders, Brahmins, teachers, monks, follow non-violence and have tolerance and peace. Now second point, everybody should avoid arrogance, enmity, sacrifice of animals, fighting for religions and land. He wanted that his people should live in harmony with each other. So he respected and patronized all the religion. Asoka's state was really a welfare state. He treated his people as a father. How does he treat his people? As a father would treat his children. So he gave maximum facilities to the people, trees were planted. What facilities were given? Let's see. Trees were planted on both the sides of the road. Wells were dug, hospitals for people, and animals were opened. Animals were opened. Orphanages, old age home also opened during his rule. He appointed Dhamma Mahamata, who went from place to place teaching people about the Dharma. He also appointed whom? Dham Mahamatas. What is his work? He moved from place to place. Why he moved from place to place? For teaching people about the Dham. Now come to the administration. The Mauryan administration was run under the guidance of Chanakya. The king was the head of the state. Who was the head of the state? Obviously the king, and enjoyed the supreme power of military, judiciary and civil administration. He had Mantri Parishad, means Council of Ministers. Why he has Mantri Parishad? To assist and advise him. So, however, the king was not bound to follow their advice. If the king thinks that this should be the better advice, then only he adopt their advices. The ministers were appointed on the basis of their merit, and he kept ladies as his bodyguards. Amatyas, Mahamatras, Adhyaksh, Purohit, Senapati, Yuvraj were some of the officials in his court. There was a very efficient espionage system. The whole empire was divided into the smaller unit for efficient administration. Why the whole administration was divided into the smaller unit? For the proper functioning of the village, for the administration. So the city administration was under the Nagar Adhyaksh. The city administration was under the Nagar Adhyaksh or Nagrik. That is like a mayor nowadays. So he was helped by 30 members. Under the mayor, under the Nagrik, how many members are there? 30 members. Nowadays also under the mayor there are so many members who works according to ward wise. Ward Sadash we are calling. So they were divided into 6 brood of 5 members each. How many broods of 5 members each? 6 brood of 5 members. In each group there is 5 members. So 5, 6, 5 is 30. So total how many members are there? 30 members. So each board was assigned different duties to be performed, और सभी का अपना अपना duties था to perform. Now come to the social condition. Let's see about the social condition. The life of the people was peaceful and prosperous in the society. Varn and ashram system of Rig-Vedic period were in practice. Kautilya outlined the duties of each varn under each ashrams. So how many ashrams are there? There are 4 ashrams. And how many varns are there? 4 varns, as you have read in the previous chapter also. Let's see how many varns? 4. First one is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudras. And how many ashrams? 4 ashram also. And each ashram carries how many years? 25. So first ashram is Brahmacharya ashram, second Grihastha ashram, third Banaprastha ashram, and fourth is the Sannyasa ashram. So most people married within their own caste that time and followed their paternal trade or professions. People lived peacefully and harmoniously with each other, and they also obeyed all the laws. Now come to the economic condition. Agriculture was the basis of the village economy. What was the main basis of the village economy? Agriculture. Many dams and lakes were constructed to provide irrigational facilities. Canals were also dug. Sudarshan Lake, built by whom? Chandragupta Maurya, is a good example of the irrigation system that was prevalent at that time. The state also gave financial help to the cultivators and traders. Nowadays also the state or the central level gives them the loans facility. So proper attention was paid to cattle rearing and pastures. Forest, wild animals, mines and natural resources were considered as public property and protected by the state laws. Heavy punishment were also given to those people who cut the trees. So promotion of trade and ensured by the government officials. Now cotton, wool, silk, jute production were the main items of internal and foreign trades. Means trade is also there. So the traders had to pay various taxes to the government. Their product were thoroughly checked. Kashi, Kalinga, Madurai were the main center of the textiles for the textiles. Spices and ivory goods, etc., were the main items for export. Now come to the art and architecture. Five types of architectural monuments were prevalent during this period. They are palaces, stupas, caves, pillars, and rock edicts. The palace of Ashoka was exquisitely beautiful. Fa Yan, a Chinese traveler, was astonished to see it and remarked that the palace must have been constructed by God, not by the man. Means the art and architecture. The palace were such a beautiful design that when the Fa Yan come in India, and what he remarked about the palace means the palace were constructed by the God, not by the man. Such a beautiful palace were constructed. Now the stupa of Sanchi and its gateway is the best example of the architecture of that period. The Mauryan ruler dug many caves for the monks to live in. The finest examples of architecture can be seen in the form of stone pillars with shining surfaces. These pillars were crowned with animal figures and dharm chakra. The top of a stone pillar with 4 lions and a dharm chakra has been adopted as our national emblem. Rock edicts were found in Rupnath, Sahasram, Bihar, Bharat in Rajasthan. Later on, monasteries were made for the monks to live in, while Ashoka was making every effort to spread the message of peace to neighboring countries also. The Chinese emperor were building great walls to protect their boundaries by forcing thousands of people to work in extreme weather conditions that time only. You can see here the national emblem of India, and in the another picture you can see Ashoka's pillar in Sarnath. Now come to the last topic, that is decline. What was the reason of decline of Mauryan Empire? Let's see. The decline of Mauryan Empire started after the death of Ashoka in 232 BCE. Why? Because Ashoka declared that no one can do any war. Okay. So it is said that Ashoka's military policy of not waging any war was perhaps the main reason for the decline of his empire. Brihadnath was the last ruler of Mauryan Dynasty. Who was the last ruler of Mauryan Dynasty? Brihadrat. Now he was killed by the commander-in-chief Pushyamitra Sungas in 185 to 73 BCE, who captured the throne after the Mauryan Dynasty. So he founded the new dynasty that is called the Sungas Dynasty and was succeeded by Agnimitra. And the last ruler of Sungas dynasty was Devbhuti. Was killed by whom? Vasudeva. And he belongs to which dynasty? Kanva dynasty in 72 BCE. So do you know a dynasty rules means that the member of the same family becomes ruler. Usually the son comes to the throne after the death of his father. The Mauryan dynasty had 3 important rulers. First one is Chandragupta Maurya, second one is Bindusar, and third one is Ashoka. Now come to the keywords. Here are some keywords. You can learn this also. So the first keyword is architecture, which means the art or science of designing and building a structure. Second, Dhamma, a prakritic word, a prakrit word for the Sanskrit term dham. Dynasty, a series of kings from the same families going on. Edict, an official order or proclamation issued by a person in authority. So we have to remember the keywords also. Now come to something to know. So in this video we also solve the exercise. So let's start. Something to know. Here is tick the correct option. So you all have to answer. The founder of Mauryan Dynasty was. Who was the founder of Mauryan Dynasty? And the answer is Chandragupta Maurya. A option is the correct option. Now answer. Now come to the second question. Who wrote Arthashastra? The option is C. Kautilya. Who wrote the Arthashastra? Kautilya wrote the Arthashastra. Come to the C part. Question number 3. The ambassador sent by Seleucus Nicator to the court of Chandragupta Maurya was Megasthenes. Tick the C option. Now come to the fourth question. The last Nanda ruler. He was Ghananand. Come to the fifth question. The Mauryan king was assisted by Mantri Parishad. Now come to the fill in the blanks. The Alexander was the son of King Philip of Macedonia. King Philip of Macedonia. Now come to the second question. Chandragupta Maurya invaded Magad with the help of Kautilya. During Ashoka's rule, agriculture was the main base of the village economy. What was the main base of the village economy during the Ashoka's rule? Agriculture. So in 3 we have to write agriculture. Now come to the fourth one. The city administration during the Mauryan period was under the Nagar Adhyaksh or Nagrik. Come to the fifth one. The Chinese traveler Fahian was astonished to see the Mauryan palace. Now come to the C part. That is match the following. Barabo. What is this? This is a caves. Odisha means Kalinga. Now come to the third. Madurai. This is a textile center. Sahasram. Rock edict. And come to the fifth one. Sachi Stupa. Now once again I am going to repeat. First one is Barabar, that is caves. Odisha, Kalinga. Madurai, textile center. Sahasram, rock edict. And Sachi Stupa. Clear? Now come to another question. This is also match the column. You can see the answer is given here directly. Ghananand, the last Nanda ruler who defeated the Chandragupta. Chanakya, the another name of Chanakya is Kautilya. 321 BCE, the first Indian empire established. 305 BCE, Seleucus defeated. Arthashastra, literary source of the Mauryan period through which we are knowing about this dynasty. Arthashastra is written by whom? Kautilya. 273 BCE to 232, Ashoka's ruling period. 261 BC, Kalinga war was fought. And 185 BC, the end of the Mauryan Empire. Stupa, what is stupa? Relics of Buddha are preserved in it. Now come to the 10th. Edicts. Orders issued by Ashoka for his people. So in this video, only this much I have added. In another video, we will discuss D part and E part and also the value based question. So don't miss my next video. You can, if you miss the next video, you will not solve your D and E part, that is question answer and value based question. We will discuss this all in the new videos. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe my channel and also share it. Thank you so much.